today's cup of coffee, we're going to be discussing upcoming planetary anomalies, events, whatever you want to call it, spoopiness. We're going to be talking about upcoming lunar spoopiness. And I actually had not kept up with it. I knew that we were getting close to an eclipse season, but I didn't realize how close we were getting. And as you can see from this one website, that's going to be the closest supermoon, and it's going to be a total eclipse on May the 22nd, or not 22nd, 26th. And yeah, the reason the 22s and the 11s, I'll explain that here in a minute. So I was listening to a young man explain about what this, from an astrological point of view, what this means. And this one, because it's in May, is called a flower moon. But this is a super flower blood moon eclipse, and it's in Sagittarius. And so as I was listening to him, and I will put a link to his channel so that you can listen to it for yourself. And when I listen to some of these people, I listen between the words. And I know that everybody likes a synopsis, and but also I believe thoroughly in giving credit to whomever has done the work. But when I hear, sometimes I hear differently than what they're saying, and that's my gift. So I can very much interpret what I've heard. And he had said that part of what's going to be going on with this, the foundation of beliefs will be tested. And that includes temptations and remembering to have temperance. Now, you know, temptations come every day, but God always makes a way of escape. Don't get involved intimately, and that means friendships, other kinds of relationships, with people that you don't know well. This is not going to be a period of time to all of a sudden suddenly decide to run off and get married with somebody. That's not going to work well. Positive thing that he said was that there could be solutions that will help those of us that have felt overwhelmed. I have felt overwhelmed for years, and I think that lots of others have. He used the word visceral, and that's a pretty strong word. Visceral world events during that time frame. Well, you know, it's boiling, folks. Everybody knows that. And a search for security and safety. And there's scripture in Thessalonians that talks about peace and safety. Now, I ain't saying that because those events, that's going to be a Rosh Hashanah event. So that's going to be several months down the way. I'll have to look and see when Rosh Hashanah is this year, because that's the Feast of Trumpets. And he also warned as far as not being impulsive or, you know, risk-taking behavior. That's been going on for a minute. This is not the time to be a daredevil or to, you know, do any of that stuff. Find comfort in the mundane and just everyday events. Simplify, and just mindfulness. Be aware of what you're doing. Enjoy what you're doing. Moving zen, even while washing dishes. That's something I've been practicing for years now, to be aware of the temperature of the water, the feeling of the soap, you know, and the bubbles and stuff on the sponge, the feeling of the sponge as it goes across the dish or whatever, and that becomes a form of moving meditation. It can be very soothing in a world where, you know, everybody's mind and psyche is being attacked almost on a daily basis. You don't have to play that game. So, big shift in perspective and perception. And some people, this can be a good time to get out of negative cycles. Well, if somebody, you know, has gone through years being spiritually blind, that they didn't understand what they were doing, why they were doing it, how it was impacting other people, yeah, we need to pray that those people, that their eyes be opened. And for the rest of us, it's like, you know, let us be prepared to help those who are awakening. This can be a time of emotional healing, he said. Work with here and now. Again, that is mindfulness. Detach from fear and, build confidence again. And don't be a total loner. Now, those of us that are sort of, I don't know, we are sort of in the loner category. But even I, it's family, different things like that. So this is a good time to find different members of, of your tribe, if you want to use that word, and to see people differently. And Leo King, one of the things that he had said, I've got to go back and watch again. I had all this information, all of a sudden it was just dumped in my lap, and I'm like, I don't have time to listen to all of it in one day. But he was talking about that towards the end of June and beginning of July, as far as, things going to get a little transformed. And that could be in a good way, and that could be in a not so good way. And here's another one and it does matter as far as the path of the eclipse, and this was the best that I could find right now. And the ones that's going to get the main full Monty of the eclipse, that's going to be these folks down here in Australia. And then the rest of us are going to get, sideswiped. I think that one of the areas, I think that Africa and stuff, that the eclipse is not, they're not in its path at all this time. So this was what was interesting. I was reading through here, minding my own business, and, talking about the real action begins at 9:45 UT when the moon starts to enter the inner dark umbra of the Earth's shadow, and the partial stage of the eclipse begins. Totality starts at 11:11 UT. The 11s and the 22s, folks. It's since 2013. I'm not the only one. I just don't know what it means. So anyhow, so get your ducks in a row. Just be mindful. Be aware of what's going on always at this point in time. Even if you go into the grocery store or whatever, be aware of your surroundings. Know who's around you. That's any time, like I said, because you never know. There's a lot of people out there that's on the edge, and you do not want them within striking distance of you if they decide to snap. And full moons, y'all know how that rolls. New moons, you usually get interesting dreams. Full moons, you get interesting behaviors. And the supposed experts that have discredited that over the years, I've worked in mental health. I've worked down there as a corrections officer. Oh, it matters. It truly matters. So, if you've had experience with the supernatural, paranormal, aliens, UFOs, altered states of awareness, consciousness, reality with or without substances, if you've had an encounter with a Bigfoot or a chupacabra or a skinwalker, I don't even want to think about that, anything like that, just give me an email, cupofcoffeewithscream@gmail.com, and you all have a beautiful, blessed day.